Hey Dan, we're here on the Zynaptiq stand, and one thing that's really got me excited is this Morph 2. It really looks very special. Can you show us a little about it?
Yeah, Morph is our newest plugin. It basically allows you to take the characteristics of one sound and morph them into another sound. You know, you might think of it a little bit like a vocoder, except that our process is far more detailed than any vocoder could hope to achieve. And let me just start by having our CEO issue a kind of brash proclamation.
We are the Zynaptiq. You shall be assimilated.
Okay. Now, on the other hand, I have a bowed cymbal. Sounds like this.
So very harmonically complex.
Yes, of course. You know, when you say very harmonically complex, the implication goes back to vocoder, where you have this carrier and modulator model, where you have to have a very harmonically rich carrier in order to get anything accomplished. That's not the case with Morph, because a vocoder is inherently subtractive, and our process is neither subtractive or additive. It's a true morph between one source and another source. So you can have a harmonically rich, and I'm using these terms incorrectly in this context, but for comparison purposes, you could have a harmonically rich carrier, or a harmonically rich modulator, or neither.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the voice of the cymbal appear to speak.
We are the Zynaptiq. You shall be assimilated. We are the Zynaptiq. You shall be assimilated.
And we'll morph that back to the cymbal. Right?
We are the Zynaptiq.
Okay? So we also have an extremely high quality formant shifter. We think it's the best one out there. It doesn't have the graininess that you get sometimes with formant shifters, and I'm going to just play that for you.
We are the Zynaptiq. We are the Zynaptiq.
I'll just leave that down there. And now I have another example here. We'll do the same thing with a growling Rottweiler. We're gonna
All your demos are so scary, man.
We're gonna assemble a scary demo here. So we have this guy. He doesn't sound very happy. That's our growling Rottweiler dog. Okay, so we're gonna make him speak.
We are the Zynaptiq. You shall be assimilated. We are the Zynaptiq. You shall be assimilated.
This is very sort of in the realms of sound design. I mean, you can see how people will be using this to sort of invent the sound for something or other from,
Absolutely, yes. It can be extremely useful, for making one thing sound, something that's obviously not even human sound like it's talking, It doesn't even have to be alive to sound like it's talking,
And I did see some great examples. A guy called Simon Stockhausen, who was doing some beautiful things with kind of bow, cellos, and all sorts of stuff that sounded amazing. Perhaps more musical.
Yeah, well, we can do things with music too. I mean, I'm going to show you another example here. So I have these two tracks here. This one.
Could this be my understanding?
And this one.
A secret key.
And I'm going to morph between the two.
See ya, thrill seeker, heartbreaker. It's not your fault. I was being too demanding. What's going on?
We can go the other way.
Heartbreaker, a shapeshifter, a secret keeper. You know I have to see ya. With thrill seeker. Be my understanding.
Well, that's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's really kind of highly produced finished masters as
right,
well.
and yes, and so it's a way of actually creating completely new hybrid tracks. I think of it as particularly for DJs. I mean, it's an excellent way, and rather than a crossfade, you can actually create a completely new track that's a morph between the two, not just a crossfade between
It's
the
interesting,
two.
isn't it? Because Morph has for so long kind of basically just sounded like a crossfade.
Yes.
not your product Morph, but
yes.
the process Morph.
Exactly.
And this actually really does.
This really does it. And by the way, you can morphing from B onto A is a different sound than morphing A onto B. So you can get two completely different sounds even with the same two sources. Yeah. We also have built into the plugin. There's a reverb circuit. It's a very nice. You can add a little bit of that if you want to.
You know I love to see ya. Thrill seeker, heartbreaker, shape shifter.
So that can provide some interesting additional effects. So maybe we just put it in there because we can, you know. And there's 3 different morphing algorithms actually. We have our classic algorithm, which you've been hearing. We also have interweave and tight, which basically feature different things. The tight algorithm is a little bit more focused on transients.
So more for rhythm. And
interweave is a little bit more focused on harmonic interweaving. So, and then we also have these low latency algorithms. They use less CPU and therefore are more suited to live use.
So it can work in real time.
If you want to use your microphone live and actually speak, do the kinds of things you might associate with a vocoder, you can use these low latency algorithms and they'll work for you live. They don't have quite the same resolution as the other algorithms, but they use less CPU, so you can use a lower buffer setting, for example. Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. So this is available now, right?
This is available right now, yes.
What formats?
We have all the formats, AAX, VST, audio units, RTAS, Mac and PC, pretty much anything you want.
And do you have the pricing information? That's all right. Not all the demo guys do, so you can refer us to the website.
You can ask Jason over there for the price, yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Cenk, Music Messe.
Yes, Music Messe 2015, and it's hot here, it's boiling. And
no air conditioning, right?
No, good luck with that. And we're stuck in this place of sound. But it's fun, because we have Sonic States with Nick Butts here, and we're going to show you the next level of overbridge. So this time around, we are happy to show you the VSTI plugin of the overbridge. So what we have here is you have your 4 tracks, and each track has got all these parameters that you can, of course, change the settings, these fancy graphics, and all that stuff.
So this is linked to an analog 4
yes,
or analog keys,
yeah.
Right?
I will come to that. I just want to show all this that is in working to our users and to the public, that we're really coming to the end of our journey here. It's very, really close to be released. Now, the setup I have here is I have the analog 4 plugged in only via USB into the computer, and I'm not using any of these. So with this setup, I can send multi-track audio, sync, and MIDI data such as automation. But I would like to say that the sync technology is our custom technology. It's not MIDI sync, and we're working hard on it, and it's going to be very stable when it is out. And it's going to be a good one. I can see it. I've been working on it, and it works very well. But I can see a bit of improvement, so it will be very good. Now, one of my really features that I really like about it is that I can draw all these curves for overbridge and make them play, make the automation play. So when I press play on this MIDI clip, I can see that they're all playing. So imagine the potential when you're making your tracks, so that you can have like a filter sweep that changes over like 3 minutes, your envelope time changing over the course of the track. So overbridge opens you a lot of potential by combining the two worlds of analog instruments and DAW studio environment. And we can also say this is the first time in the history that such complete analog synthesizers with sequencer is such an instrument that has a VSTI plugin to work in a DAW environment. Now, we're very close to releasing this in May. we're planning to release a public beta, which it will be available to everybody over our brand new website that if you haven't seen it yet, please go and check it out. We released it just beginning of Music MESSE. There's a lot of cool things there to check it out. And in summertime, probably around in June, that we are planning to release Overbridge as the first initial release as 1.0. Now with this 1.0, we're planning to include features such as total recall. So when I save this project, for example, I will have all the settings that I have on the Analog 4 saved within the project. And also there will be in the future, we're planning to have a librarian where there will be better management of your files, such as patterns, kits, and also sample transfer. That's something that our users have been asking a lot for. So that's going to be improved a lot. And last but not least, we are planning to release, how should we name that? It's like an editor, a VSTI plugin, where you will be able to send audio into the machine, into the analog boxes of ours. So you'll have a dedicated plugin VSTI editor that you send the audio into it, and you use the analog filters and analog overdrive.
So you have bidirectional audio.
Yes, right. We have bidirectional audio, and we're going to make use of that by introducing a different VSTI plugin for the external analog processing for your audio. And of course, this is going to be free to all our users. If you have an analog keys, analog rhythm, and analog 4, this is going to be free, and I'm sure it will be very useful for your production if you are using computers. So that's it.
So we're seeing the analog keys and analog 4. Is there going to be something for rhythm as well?
Of course. The rhythm will have its own VSTI plugin. We're working on that very hard now. We were about to show it, but we decided not to because things are still changing around. And in public beta in May, it will be available to our users. So when you download Overbridge, you will get the VSTI plugin for keys, 4, and also the rhythm.
So will it be possible using the VSTI controller to map external controllers to these parameters as well, so you can edit effectively this from a separate control surface?
Of course, yes. As I showed you before, and I want to see these parameters dance, I like that. I can of course assign, a lot of MIDI controllers and change them from here. It's totally possible. If you don't want to use these controllers or you want to have more controls, yes, you can assign external MIDI controllers to the plugin parameters. That is totally possible, yes. And another thing to mention is that I can plug in multiple devices. So I can run analog 4 and analog rhythm plugged into the same computer via USB and run bi-directional audio.
Can you run multiple analog 4s or multiple analog rhythms, so if you have more than one?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can run 2 rhythms, 2 analog 4s. I don't know about using 3 units. I haven't tested that far. But if you have a very good hub, a USB hub, I'm sure that will be possible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nick.